Welcome to Story Matrix, another day, another story. Hey everyone. Today, we uncover the unsolved mystery of the 1988 train murder that shocked the nation. Despite pleas for help, no one came forward to aid the 26-year-old victim. Over 30 years later, despite DNA evidence, hefty monetary reward, and pleas for closure, the case remains open and baffles people. The Matrix will explore the bizarre details, the lessons learned, and how it changed the railway system forever. The tragic tale is about Deborah Lindsley, a 26-year-old hotel manager from Edinburgh, UK, was found dead in a closed compartment on a moving train. But before we go into the incident, let's look at Debbie's final sighting and what happened before that fateful day. Debbie had traveled back to London during the week of her murder to attend a hotel management course and to spend time helping with the preparation of her brother's wedding, at which she was due to be a bridesmaid. It's Wednesday, March 23, 1988. It's approximately 2 p.m. Debbie was dropped off at the train station at Orpington, where she wanted to catch the train to London Victoria service. This is the last time Debbie is seen alive by anyone. The time is 2:04 p.m. Deborah enters the station and purchases a ticket from the ticket office. She then sat at the station and waited for the train to arrive. The time is 2:18 p.m. The train arrives on the platform, and she boarded the train and went to sit in the closed smoking carriage. While on the train, Deborah smoked at least 2 cigarettes and ate part of a sandwich she had taken for the journey. The time is now 2:49 p.m. The train arrived at London Victoria. The British rail staff boarded the train to check for left luggage and possessions. When they looked inside the smoking carriage, they were shocked to discover the entire carriage covered in blood and Debbie lying in the pool of blood. The train journey took just 31 minutes, and Deborah was killed on a somewhat busy train in broad daylight. So, what happened in those 31 minutes? Why didn't people interfere? How did the killer get off the train with so much blood on his shirt? Before we look at what unfolded in those 31 minutes on the tragic day of Deborah's death, please subscribe to the channel down below to stay plugged into the Matrix. Debbie was on board the train for 31 minutes, with stops at Bickley, Bromley South, Shortlands, Beckenham Junction, Kent House, Penge East, Sydenham Hill, West Dulwich, Herne Hill, and Brixton. It is believed that 70 people were aboard that train, with ticket collectors saying that 30 to 40 people got off at Victoria. Despite numerous public appeals, the police said that only 26 of them have been accounted for, and it is thought that at least 20 people had failed to come forward. The longest time between stations was 8 minutes between Brixton and Victoria. And this was the time when an 18-year-old French girl heard the loudest screams when seated in the adjacent compartment. She revealed that she had heard screams that lasted for about 2 minutes shortly after the train had departed Brixton. She said, "I had never heard such screams. They stopped for about 5 seconds and started again." She called out as if for help. They were screams of fear and very, very loud. "I wanted to use the alarm but remained glued to my seat. How could someone be so careless that they ignore loud screams for help?" This is what the coroner said on the incident after he ruled it as an unlawful killing. The motive for the crime? Debbie was brutally stabbed 11 times near her face, neck, heart, and stomach. The police had said that the attack might have started as an attempted rape. However, there was no concrete evidence of sexual interference. When her body was found, she still possessed her jewelry and a £5 note from her brother, ruling out the possibility that she had been the victim of a robbery gone wrong. The weapon used was never recovered, although it is believed to have been 5 to 7.5 inches long with a heavy blade. The police later described it as a good quality kitchen knife and stated their belief the murder had been premeditated, as it was likely the killer had left home and traveled with the weapon. Not all blood in the compartment belonged to Debbie, indicating that she had fought against her attacker, leading to the murderer injuring themselves. Despite DNA evidence and a high-profile murder investigation, the police have not been able to identify the murder and even the cause of the murder itself. Due to progressions in DNA profiling, the case was reopened in 2002 with an extensive publicity campaign launched in Victoria Station. The Met offered a £20,000 reward to find the murderer in 2013. In 2018, her dad Arthur Lindsley made an emotional appeal on the 30th anniversary of her murder, saying, "My daughter was murdered 30 years ago and despite the DNA profile of the suspect is available, the person responsible has still not been found." Debbie's death had an immediate impact on society. The British Railway identified the issue with a closed compartment, with no way in and out of the compartment to the other compartment, as the biggest safety disaster. They immediately announced the change to the design of railway compartments, adopting a new design for trains with escape routes. Within a week of the murder, they announced that the number used on off-peak journeys would be reduced to minimize the chances of passengers being isolated. They also ordered train guards to patrol train compartments proactively and urged women to be particularly observant while traveling alone. Debbie's story still haunts many people with questions like why? And who? Her story is tragic. Even with technological advancements, her murder remains unsolved in 2022.